What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here. Let's talk story of the game. Conte gets his tactics wrongs again. Um, Referee, very one-sided for Man U. And lastly, we can't get the job done. Three biggest stories. Biggest one, starting off, Conte, tactics wrong. Once again, comes down to subs. Starting off the game, his lineup looks good. It's a bit different. We make a few changes. We go with a recognized striker. I still think it should be Giroud instead of Morata because Morata hasn't shown enough recently. But you know what? Let's give him a chance, see what he's got. Drinkwater coming in for Fabregas. It's a little bit different player, a little bit harder worker than Fabregas defensively. Let's see what that's got. Okay, second half rolls around with a better team. Then all of a sudden he changes it. Just out of nowhere. Hazard goes up top and Morata drops deeper on defense. Why? Now whenever we flick the ball out, now all of a sudden Hazard's not there to pick it up, Morata is, and he's not winning any balls. So that's a mistake. Then for sub, Pedro comes on. Okay, that's fine. We need a bit more defensive work for Hazard. I'm sorry, what? We're drawing 1-1 at this point. We don't need to try to play for the draw because that just plays right into Man U's hands. They want us to drop our game. They want us to drop a bit deeper. They want us to do all of that because it plays right into what they're trying to do. They're trying to put pressure on us. They're trying to push us further down the field. Bringing on Pedro for Hazard is a sign of, oh yeah, we're going to do exactly that. And then whenever they finally get the goal, because that's what happens whenever you drop deep, where's your playmaker? Where's the one that's going to change the game and get that equalizing goal for you? Well, he's on the bench now. Giroud came on way too late. It should have been one of the first subs in the second half. Should have been Giroud on for Morata because Morata was not given enough. Giroud is the one we needed up there. But don't bring him on until last 15 minutes. And then finally Fabregas comes on late. At that point, it's just throwing on every attacking player you can trying to get a goal. But it's just horrible decisions from Conte today. And it's not the first time this season. And that's the biggest problem for me is that these tactical decisions that last year he's making great tactical decisions. It's changing games. It's giving us games at times. It's helping us win. Today, past few games against Watford, against Bournemouth, against Man City, all these games that we've lost this season, it comes down to Conte's tactical decisions. The players that he puts on the field, the subs he makes, the changes he makes, they haven't been good enough this season. And it's cost us a lot. And now we are sitting outside of the top four. And we've got Man City next. So, yeah, we've got a problem. And it's not getting much better. After Barcelona, I'm looking at it, I'm like, all right, if we can keep that momentum going first half, I'm like, yes, this is great. We're looking good. We're easily the better team. And then second half, we just decide, oh, you know what? Maybe we should play a bit more defensive. Maybe we should play a bit more scared and act like, man, you are actually a big team right now. Because that's exactly what they want. And that's stupid. So, getting into individual performances, Courtois, not much you can do on either one, pretty much left stranded on both goals. So, he had to make a couple good saves, and in my opinion, he did what he's supposed to today. Not really much I could ask for him. So, Espilicueta looked pretty solid on the right side, just very good again defensively. The only real problem I had from him today was just it felt like the attacking sense, the getting forward, wasn't really there in the second half. But once again, is that Conte's decision or is that him? And I'll say that about really most of our back seven, the back five and then the two in the midfield. They all looked great first half. And then second half, it was like our tactics changed. And with those tactics, performances dropped off. So it's really hard for me to judge them because first half, all three of our back three, fantastic. Moses and Alonso, pretty good. Conte and Drinkwater ran the midfield. Second half, all of a sudden, it was like there was less work from them. They were slower. They weren't really getting up enough and helping out in the attack. And so whenever Man U picked up the ball, it was just constantly right back at us because there's no depth, or there is too much depth and not enough togetherness in the team. So, in my opinion, I do blame a lot of the poor performances today from any of these players. I do blame it on the tactic change by Conte in the second half. So, trying to keep that in mind. Christensen, unfortunate on the first goal, goes down with a head injury, and that puts him out of position. In my opinion, when the referee sees, hey, guy goes down holding his head, it should be an immediate whistle blow. In fact, I thought that was one of the rules that they sort of had for the referees this year. If you see something that looks like a head injury, blow the whistle. He goes down holding his head, nothing. And then it's like, oh, well, he didn't call anything, so I got to get up and play, and now he's out of position. Same thing immediately after the goal. I can't remember who it was. I think it was Murata. Matic comes in, not elbow on purpose, but gets him in the side of the head with the elbow. He goes down clutching his head, and it takes the Chelsea player saying, hey, head injury, before the referee's like, oh, okay, I guess I'll stop the play now. I mean, what is that? But, aside from that, Christensen first half was very good. Second half, once again, like I said, it felt like he wasn't really as involved with the rest of the team, and at times it hurt him. So, Rudiger, similar thing. I mean, honestly, it really is. I feel like I could just say that about the back three. They all looked great first half. They were involved in the attack. They got up and they helped pressure whenever Man U did win the ball back. On the defense, they were solid. They worked together very well, and it was less of a counterattack from Man U and more of a, we're going to, if they do win the ball back, they're going to have to keep it back there, and then if they have to work their way downfield, and we can slowly sort of drop. Instead, second half, it was they were all back in the back, weren't really getting up at all, and so Man U wins it, and there's this gap, and then they're running at the defense. And any time an attack is running at the defense, it always looks worse than it really is. So Alonso on the left side, first half was okay. Defensively, he did okay, but second half, when things were down, when things were looking rough, he didn't step up. He was the one player, in my opinion, second half that it was a drop-off, but it wasn't because of the tactics change. It was because of him. He's the only one that I looked at, and I'm just like, bad passes, giveaways, being pulled out of position. It didn't feel like a tactics change messed him up. It felt like his play dropped again. And frankly, that's been the story of his season. So, but first half, I do want to see more of the Alonso we saw in the first half. Very strong defensively. He works hard. The cross that he sent in, that Murata sent onto the crossbar was fantastic. He can do that stuff, but it feels like he's so inconsistent. It doesn't happen enough. So that's my biggest concern for him. Moses on the other side, same as I said against Barcelona. Very hard worker, very good defensively, strong, and just works to win the ball back no matter what. Final third, he's got nothing, and he hasn't had it for a while. And I know Zappacosta has had some good moments in the final third, but it's kind of like, what do you really want on the wing-back role? Do you want somebody that's going to get down the attack and attack somebody, against Hull? That's fine. We need somebody who's going to get down there and attack. We need somebody who's going to get in and help out. But against teams like Man U, against Barcelona, against Man City, we need to have a Moses out there that's going to work hard defensively, not just kind of trot back. He's actually going to be there and help out. And that's what he did today. So I thought it was kind of weird that he was the one to get pulled off, but I guess he was switching to a back four, and he's not really a fullback, so I guess it made a little bit of sense. But still, I look at the two, Moses and Alonso. I still say Alonso is the one that should have come off. And then Conte and Drinkwater in the midfield. Conte ran the show in the first half, hardly gave him any time at all. Even the moments where Pogba kept possession, it was still like kind of with Messi. Messi kept possession when Conte pressured him, but it was like he pressured him enough to where he wasn't effective. He's having to go side to side instead of being able to get in at the defense and send in a good ball. But once again, second half, tactics changed, and all of a sudden he's dropping a bit deeper. He's not really there connected with the attack. He's all the way back with the defense. And so they pick up the ball, he runs up to pressure, and now all of a sudden it's an easy 1-2 around him instead of him already being there, so there's no time to 1-2. Drinkwater, kind of similar thing. Good pressure in the midfield, worked hard, very good at forcing them one way, and then it just kind of dropped off in the second half. And, at the time Fabregas came on, I'm thinking, yeah, we need that. We need somebody in there that's going to give us a bit more in the attack, because Drinkwater's not really providing us anything right now. Hazard and Willian, in my opinion, both of them were fantastic in the first half, and the only reason they weren't as good in the second half is because of the switch around. Willian, he did drop off a little bit as far as his play on the ball. I thought a lot of that could be down to the fact that he didn't really have the outlet because the midfield weren't really getting up and helping him out. But in my opinion, the biggest problem with that three, whenever he switched Hazard to the front and then Murata dropped deeper, is that Murata doesn't keep the ball very well. Whenever it comes up to him, it's like he's trying to hold people off with strength and he doesn't have strength. Instead of, one of the things that, in my opinion, that Lukaku does very well is even if he doesn't hold up with strength, he has a good sense of, I'm going to take it away from the defender and then use my speed to get there. He did it at the very end against Rudiger, and I'm just like, that's what Murata needs to do. He thinks he's so, I'm strong, I'm going to hold it up. Defender comes in, I'm going to hold him off the ball. But he doesn't have that type of strength. And on top of that, he looks to fall a lot. But if he were willing to, okay, ball's coming in, defender's here, I'm going to flick it this way, away from the defender, and now all of a sudden I beat him, he would be so much better. And in the first half, he kind of did that a little bit. And that's where we were doing really well, is whenever it was the quick little flicks, Hazard plays it in, he takes it away from the defender, finds a pass. Those were our best passages of play, and that's why our attack was so dominant in the first half. Second half, when you switch him back, now all of a sudden it's like he's trying to hold up the ball because he's got Hazard behind him, but he doesn't have anything right there in front of him to play to. And so now he's trying to hold up the ball again, and that's not his game, and he gets knocked off of it way too easily. And then we've got a problem. So, yeah, the change of the front three in the second half, I don't understand it, but that's what killed us. That is the biggest thing that killed our front three, that killed our attack. And that's why we couldn't get anything going. Willian getting picked off the ball several times because he doesn't have any help. Hazard is all the way up top, which means he's not being able to drop in and pick up the ball and play. Murata is now dropped deeper, which means he is the one picking up the ball, but he can't hold it up, and there's nobody really helping him out, so he can't play. It was such a strange change of formation, and it just absolutely destroyed us in the second half. As far as the subs that came on, Pedro came on and gave away the ball more than anybody on the field for the entire game. Yeah, that's Pedro. Giroud came on and, in my opinion, showed why he deserves to be starting. Strong, physical. He just has a willingness to keep the ball. Murata, it's like whenever he gets knocked off the ball, he wants to look for the foul. Giroud is like he gets the ball poked away from him or he gets kind of pushed away from it. He's back on it. He's trying to win that ball back. He's trying to reach around and poke it away from the defender again. He just has this desire to go get the ball, and I'm like, that's what we need up there. And on top of that, he's strong too, which means we can play up to him and use him as an outlet. And then lastly, Fabregas came on, and in my opinion, the game was already gone at that point. No Hazard on the field. You're still relying on Murata as one of your front two. It wasn't enough. Fabregas coming on is like, yeah, we do have a bit more in the attack, but they'd already dropped so deep that even if we did get the ball at the field, it was like there are 11 guys in the box, so there's not much we can do. So, yeah, it's disappointing. And especially coming off a great game against Barcelona, coming off of a great first half here, it felt like our momentum had finally started to build. It felt like we'd started to do something effective and really find our feet again this season. And then Conte makes changes in the second half, and we're back to the terrible Chelsea that everybody's been making fun of this season because we're not anything like we were last season. And a lot of it's down to just Conte's making poor decisions. I don't know why. I don't know what he saw that made him say, oh yeah, let's switch Hazard and Murata. I don't know why he did that. I don't know why he decided to take Hazard off for Pedro. That was stupid. Just all these weird decisions that don't help us. That hurt us. They take away our attack. They take away our defense. They nullify a lot of our players. That's not what a good manager does. A good manager sees the tactical changes that need to be made, whether it's bringing on another striker, whether it's switching strikers, whether it's, maybe if it is a change of formation, go with two up top. But some of these changes are things that we've tried in the past, and they haven't worked in the past, and he's still trying it anyway. Kind of like with Bakayoko. He's shown several times he's not good enough. David Luiz, shown several times this season he's not good enough. And yet it feels like if they're healthy, they're playing. And it's just like, why are we still doing this? Why are we still trying this? Because we've seen they're not good enough to play, and yet you're still like, okay, let's try this. And it's not working. And it's been the story of our season so far. Bad tactical decisions have led to poor games, poor, results, performances, and now we're losing again. I mean, that's 3 losses in the past 5 games? That's not good enough. And now we're out of the top 4. We're going to drop down with Arsenal, fighting for 5th for Europa League. Is that where we want our season to be? Hell no. But that's where Conte's put us. So that's it for me. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What are your thoughts on this game? Let me know. We can talk about it and discuss all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Chelsea reviews, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.